Hey guys, this is SoFlo Josh and I'm over here at BMW of South Miami to review this all-new 2024 i4 M50. Huge shout out to BMW South Miami for allowing me to review this vehicle today for you guys. So without a doubt, let's go ahead and check out the exterior of this bad boy. So the i4 is actually a electric variant of the regular 4 Series Gran Coupe. Now the i4 is only offered as a 5-door hatchback. You cannot get a 2-door version with this electric powertrain. So let's go ahead and talk about the styling. Now styling is very much the same as what the regular Gran Coupe looks like. We have this beautiful LED lighting right here. Absolutely love how BMW's designed this lighting over here. You also have this really aggressive M Sport front end. Since this is the M50 variant, you're gonna always have the front end with the M Sport, as well as the side and the rear end. You have a huge area right here for airflow to go around the wheel well, just like every other BMW. And then getting over here to the much controversial kidney grills that a lot of people have not liked since the reveal of the 4 Series, and actually it's grown on me quite a lot. Originally, the original BMWs actually had a very thin, long kidney grills, and then of course as time went on they went horizontally, but they actually went back to their traditional kidney grills, and I actually like the way that this is styled, especially in the EV variant. I feel like it's nicely styled. As you can see, it's all covered up right here because this is an electric variant. You don't need as much airflow to go in because there's no ICE engine underneath the hood. Speaking about any kind of powertrain, this is a dual motor system, so you're gonna have all-wheel drive. Makes 535 horsepower and 586 pound-feet of torque. Now this is going to be great for whenever you are driving spiritably around the curves. It is absolutely a great power. I think it's actually a lot of power for what it offers, and since this is an electric vehicle and it's already low to the ground, that battery being underneath there is going to add so much more driving experience with that low center of gravity all around. So getting over here to the rear. Now the rear end of the design is actually very you can see that on the M50 we have this nice diffuser styling over here. Yes, even in an EV you do need some kind of airflow underneath, and they've done it very nicely. This is going to help also with efficiency, but also less drag, which is absolutely amazing. The tail lights look stunning. As you can see, they kind of go down and curve up. This is a full LED lighting. BMW does full LED lighting. There is no such thing as having just LED and an incandescent turn signal, as well as an light bulb for the rear housing right there. But overall, I love the way that this model is styled. It has a very aggressive styling even on the regular base models, the eDrive 35 and the eDrive 40, which those are a single motor. Of course the eDrive 35 makes less horsepower than the 40, but this one is the top dog. This is a dual motor version, and at some point I'm almost positive that BMW is going to come out with a full-blown M electric vehicle based on this model, hopefully maybe for the next generation, but I cannot wait. That's going to be a quad motor setup, so you're going to have an electric motor on each hub of the wheels. So talking about styling, let's go ahead and talk about the interior really quick. And as you can see, this is a frameless door, just like the regular 4 Series Gran Coupe and the 4 Series lineup all in all. So interior wise, we have the same soft padding all across. You have your ambient lighting right across here, nice aluminum door handle. You have your lock unlock here, and you have memory seating right here as well, and switch gears. You also do have a trunk release right here, which is pretty cool. Instead of having to get out of the car and press open it, like for example an Integra, you have to actually get out of the car and then press the button in the back in order to unlock it, or through the key fob. You also do have Harman Kardon speakers all around the interior, and since this is a 2024 variant, I believe the 2023 model, let's go ahead and turn it on. The 2023 model actually incorporated this new large infotainment. Now this is a 14-inch touchscreen display over here, and over here the digital gauge, as you can see, is actually a 12-inch, if I'm not mistaken. Now I would correct myself if it is not a 12-inch, but I believe it is a 12-inch. And as you can see there, you can actually see the amount of range you have for charge and how much battery life you have left. So we have 95 and we're expected to have 219 miles of range. BMW estimates this model to get 269 miles of range, so that's going to be very adequate for whenever you're going traveling out. And it also has DC fast charging, which is great. You can charge it at home, and you can also see exactly, if you press that button, you can see what kind of charging sites are around you, as you can see. And best part is that BMW has signed an agreement with Tesla to go ahead and use the Tesla superchargers at some point later this year or at the beginning of next year. I'm not quite sure. Right now they're still rolling it out. Ford got it first, and Rivian, we don't know who the next automaker will get it. Speaking about the infotainment, you can actually look in here and you can go to the charging section, and you can also do preconditioning. Now this is going to be the greatest thing to do if you're on a long road trip, and let's say for example you want the absolute fastest charging optimization whenever you come to a DC fast charger. That will heat up the batteries, so then you can go ahead and charge and it won't be cold. Especially if you live in colder climates, this is always going to be a great thing. Even if you live in hot climates, always do preconditioning before you do get to the charger site. I would always recommend that. Of course, that's gonna lower the amount of range you have left. Like say for example it's 219, it'll probably be maybe 200 or even 198. When you do the preconditioning, it's to heat up the battery, and that's always going to be great. So make sure you always do that whenever you are driving out. But the infotainment is really nice. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. It's wireless. I don't have my phone hooked up because this is a vehicle that should be getting sold to a customer at some point. And you can see how many widgets you have there. You can see the Android Auto and the Apple CarPlay. Your climate control is actually embedded completely into here with this new iDrive 8.5. This is actually really great. As you can see, you can actually change this fan speed. Now the pre-facelifted models, or well, the pre-interior redesigned models had the climate control set up right here, but they actually incorporated it now into the screen. I quite like it. It's very fast, very snappy. As you can see, you can actually change the fan speed, and you can also do the heated seats. If you have the heated seats right over here, you can turn it on. Really good for whenever you are in a colder climate. Just remember that when you use things like the heated seat, it does lower the range and your battery life because you are using more things. Unlike a conventional ICE vehicle, having a alternator at the front and then it basically helps with the battery, that's gonna, you know, decrease the amount of range you're gonna have whenever you're using that. The dash over here has a nice hexagonal design. It looks really cool. You also do have the ambient lighting right across over here, and as you can see over there at the door frame right there, you can have ambient lighting as well, so it's gonna light up really nice. You do also have a full-size sunroof over here, which I'm quite surprised that BMW kept a actual sunroof that opens up and not incorporate a fixed sunroof. I would actually like to see BMW do a fixed sunroof. I'm not really huge on sunroofs in general, but I would rather prefer them doing a fixed one, so then there's less likelihood of leaks and less likelihood of mechanical things getting messed up. But the overall interior feels great. The steering wheel is the M1 that you would find in basically the M Sport package vehicles or the M340i as well as the M440i. They do have the nice stitching over here that has the BMW M colors in there as well, with the BMW Rondell right here with the blue outline all across. Over here you have, like you said, the digital gauge cluster, and then right there you have a heads-up display that you can actually change, which is pretty cool. So if we go over here to the right, you can see you can change what you want to have for your heads-up display. The design of it overall looks really cool, and as you can see, it shows you the compass for it. I personally like this one. This one, you know, really is cool. And then you can also change, for example, we go back over here, we can go into the layout section right here in the middle, and you can change it to a more aggressive M styling, just like the M 3 and M4, or you can just change it to a minimalistic design like this, where you just have your speedometer and then you have your miles per hour right there. But I prefer this one. I like having these gauges over here off to the side. But comfort wise, really nice. Center console is nice. You do have that same aluminum accent all across from the dash carried over here, and then you have that wheel that has been tried and true for BMW for years. I actually really like this, especially when you're on motion, you're in motion and you want to go ahead and use the infotainment screen without having to touch it and take your eyes off of the steering wheel. You can just use that. You do have a digital key right here that you can use to access your vehicle, or you can give this to a person to go ahead and use and turn on the vehicle. All you need to do is just put it right here, and that wireless charging section, press the brake, and then it starts. Really cool. As I said, there is a wireless charging there, 2 cup holders, USB right there, 12 volt right here, which a lot of car companies have been getting rid of 12 volts. I have no idea why, or they're putting it in the back trunk like my car for some reason. Shifter down here, as you see, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then B is for the battery, and then the park button is right here. Emergency parking brake up there, USB type C, and a nice little area to put you know, some Pop-Tarts or so on and so forth. I do love the overall storage compartment in here. And then over here you have a nice glove compartment that's lined and felt. It's damped whenever it comes down, so that's really nice. You know, luxury is the key thing whenever you're looking at these vehicles. And then let's go ahead and look at the rear. As you can see, frameless window as well. The B pillar is just fixed there. Love the overall styling of the 4 Series, especially the Gran Coupe. I've always been a huge fan of the previous generation Gran Coupe. I know a lot of people weren't when it first came out, but BMW has killed the styling, and I'm glad that they still kept the hatchback styling from the first generation to this generation. Over here, nice soft padding all across, that same aluminum accent all across. Door handles finished in aluminum, and then you have your Harman Kardon with your tweeters up here. Nice storage compartment right here. Let's go ahead and get into the back seat. Getting into the back seat, I am 6 foot tall, so let's go ahead and close it. I'm wearing a hat, so of course it's gonna actually hit the back. And since I mentioned, you know, having that this is a sunroof, a little bit of the mechanical aspects do reach into the rear occupant part, but and nonetheless it's actually adequate. 6 foot tall, I have a lot of space. This is exactly where I would be sitting, so a lot of space. I would say probably 4 inches of leg room right here. My feet feel really nice there. And now this isn't the lowest that the seat can get. When you do get it to lowest, actually your feet cannot fit, so just to let you guys know. 2 air vents back here for the rear occupants. I'm glad that BMW does that, because other car makers do not do rear vents for the occupants. I have no idea why. I get it, it's a compact vehicle, but come on, you need to start offering that. You do have the control for the temperature in the rear, as well as the direction of where you want to have it. Then you have 2 USB type C's and a lot of storage over here, like I said, in the door pocket right there. And then getting right here, you can open this up if it wants to open up. Sometimes these cars that are like completely brand new, when they come from shipping and like from the factory, a lot of these things they don't open up right away, but as you can see now it opens up right away. Cup holders right here instead of over here. I love that BMW still does that. Automakers need to start doing that. I do not like it when it is right over here, as many as you know. And cool part is that you can drop this down and you can actually use this as a ski through to the back. Now this is going to add more cargo space whenever you drop everything down. Now it won't be flat, as you can see right here. It's going to be a little bit more upright, but it's going to really help with the overall cargo capacity that you would have in this model. And one other note I wanted to say really quick: ambient lighting at the rear, even for the rear occupants, which is really nice. And let's go ahead and talk about the trunk area. Getting in and out is actually not too bad. I usually have a lot of issues getting out of vehicles that are super low, but luckily these vehicles I can get in and out really relatively great. So as you can see, hatchback styling. This is gonna be perfect for anybody who doesn't want to get a CUV yet. This is actually gonna have a lot of cargo space that is adequate to the amount that you would see in, like, for example, an X1 or an X2, with that sporty styling and that low center of gravity, because you are lower to the ground with that electric motor. Now, getting into the rear, as you can see, you have your subwoofer right here, Harman Kardon. That's going to add so much bass to the overall sound. And then you have more cargo space there, which is great. As you can see, this fits in there perfectly. You do also have a charger right here for your house output, but overall space is really nice. You have a ton of them, and if you wanted to, you can actually remove this and add even more height towards your rear cargo space, which is really, really cool. I like the fact that they continued that, and BMW just done a overall great design. And then you can see right here, you can actually close the rear tailgate and lock the vehicle at the same time. So that's one key thing to know. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take this puppy on the road. So now that we're down here on the main road, let's go ahead and put it into drive, and let's take this puppy out to South Dixie Highway. And one thing I want to mention, this car does come with regenerative braking, so that's going to really help whenever you are driving it on the daily in the city or around congested parts like this. That's actually going to help with a lot of range that you will have. It will bring back all that energy into the battery. But yeah, overall, the feeling that this car feels is actually really nice. The suspension feels really nice. I wonder if we put it into sport mode. As you can see there, sport mode activated, sport boost, and then sport individual. You can change everything on there. Let's go ahead and take it out. Oh, and you can actually hear how loud it gets. So let's go ahead and go out to the main road, and let's go ahead and floor it. Oh my god, this vehicle is absolutely insane. Man, if you thought the Tesla Model 3 was crazy, or the Tesla Model S, this is even more insane. BMW knows how to make the ultimate driving machine, and this car is nonetheless just like that. Let's go ahead and take it down this road over here. And I love the overall sound that it makes whenever you are actually flooring it, and it's man, they did a fantastic job with the sound. Body control over here, as you can see. There's not a lot of body roll when you do transition from one section off to the other section. Oof. Man, this car is absolutely insane. This is all-wheel drive, and it just picks up and goes. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and put it back in comfort mode so we can see how that suspension feels. But it's just a direct shot. It puts you back in your seat, and it just, you could tell that it definitely lifts up whenever you floor it. The way that BMW designs their vehicles, yes, it's electric, but it makes it feel like it's an internal combustion engine. They haven't lost that trait that we've known and loved BMW. That's one thing I want to mention, that, you know, you're not going to lose that, you know, sporty luxury styling or driving dynamic that you would find in the ICE variants. It's going to transition over here to the electric variants, and I think BMW has created such a wonderfully packaged vehicle. Now, I would even say that this vehicle feels even far substantially better than the ICE variant actually feels. I know that might be controversial, but it really does feel like this vehicle handles better. The overall acceleration puts you back in your seat, makes you feel like, you know, you are going you know, through hyperspace. If you watch Star Wars, you know, going through that hyperspace, that's exactly what this vehicle feels, and it feels phenomenal. I'm actually very, very surprised that what BMW has created. And over there we have 93 miles, oh well, 93% left, as well as the 216 miles. But man, I love the overall feeling that this vehicle feels. You have that low center of gravity, so you're going to be able to transition back and forth within curves. You know, if you're going to take it through California, you're going to feel that nice suspension working throughout each corner, and maneuver you correctly, so then, you know, there's not any kind of craziness going on in the rear. You're not going to have a lot of slip, and that's one thing I love about this i4 M50. honestly, hats off to BMW for creating such a product. So with that being said, let's go ahead. We're gonna take it back out here onto the main road of South Dixie, and I'm gonna stay quiet, and I'm gonna leave it in comfort mode so you guys can actually hear. Alright, so overall ambiance inside the cabin, as you can hear from the video, is actually very quiet. You do hear a little bit of the exterior, and that's because these, this is a frameless window, so you're gonna hear more of the exterior. Now, if it was a non-frameless window, you wouldn't hear that. But that's one thing I noticed. Second of all, the tires. Now, these are the Pirelli P0s, and they actually feel really nice. They're not super quiet because they are performance wheels, but you don't hear a lot of the presence of the road, the imperfections. You do hear it just like probably this much, but it actually sounds really nice and adequate. And of course, the regenerative braking whenever you take your foot off of the brake, as you can hear, that electric motor and the stopping. I just love the way that this sounds. It just sounds absolutely insane. So we're gonna go ahead and go back upstairs, and we're gonna finish off the video. So now we're back up here at the second floor, so let's go ahead and talk about my final impressions of the i4 M50. So like I stated on the drive, this model feels phenomenal, especially since this is the electric variant. You're gonna have that low center of gravity with the fact that the battery is underneath the main driver and passenger, so you're going to be able to turn in and out of corners far better, and you're going to have a just overall driving experience that you would feel from BMWs of the past. A lot of people always say that electric vehicles are not the greatest, they don't feel as good, they lose that soul connection that you would have with an ICE vehicle. And if I'm going to be honest with you, this adds more pulse to your heart than actually a internal combustion engine would. This vehicle feels great, it feels nimble, the overall chassis is very sporty. It's even better than the 3 Series, if I'm gonna have to be honest with you, especially the fact that the M340i has that inline 6. Now that's a tried and true engine, so I do love the B58. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, this 4 Series and its electric variant with the dual motor setup has all-wheel drive. It's gonna be absolutely insane, and it's gonna make a lot of people come to the brand with a new perspective on driving electric vehicles. So what is my honest opinion? Should you go out there and buy this vehicle? I would say 1000%. I think that you should. If you're huge on sportiness and you're huge on wanting to cut back on spending gas at the pump, then go for something like this instead of going for a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. Go for something like this that has the sportiness that BMW is known for in the Electrify era. And I have to say, hats off to BMW. You guys done a fantastic job. Once again, huge shout out to BMW of South Miami for allowing me to review this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.